Hey Stampers! Today's technique is going to be triple step stamping. If you haven't heard of it, it's fabulous. And during convention this past July, a lot of the swaps that I received had triple step stamping, and I had to go on a technique hunt and figure out how to do it and where it came from. So I was really excited to learn how to do this. So the card that we're going to make today is this Warm Wishes on your birthday, and it comes from the Blooming with Kindness stamp set. And we're going to feature the triple step stamping. So what do you need to make this card? This card was done in Tempting Turquoise, but we have a fabulous palette of colors. So I chose Gumball Green. So we're going to try Gumball Green today. So what you need to make this card is a Gumball Green classic stamp pad, a stamp set of your choice. Today I used Blooming with Kindness. A matching piece of Gumball Green cardstock, and then you're going to need black and white, basic black paper, and Whisper White cardstock as well. You're also going to want your matching Stampin' Write marker, and in the same color, and of course in black. And then I used for my little flower the Itty Bitty Punch, the little flower from the Itty Bitty Punches. So that's pretty much it. I also added a jewel rhinestone to kind of add that final bling to my cards, because as you know, I love to have bling. All right, so the dimensions of your paper, your cardstock, you're going to need a 5.5 by 8.5 sheet for your base of your card. Of course, you're going to layer an inside piece. You're going to need 2 Whisper White pieces, 5.25 by 4 inches. Another basic black piece that's 4.25 by 3 inches. You're going to need another Whisper White, 4 inches by 2 3/4 inches. And then another piece of basic black, 3 by 1 3/4 inches. And then finally, your last Whisper White piece is 2 3/4 by 1.5. All right, so how do you do triple step stamping? Oh, this is so much fun. I just recently did this in one of my classes, and it was a hit. So if you're looking for a fun technique that everybody can do, beginners to advanced stampers, this one seems to be awesome. Everybody loves it. Now, how do you do this? What you do, they call it triple step stamping because you can layer all three layers, triple, up on top of each other and stamp them all. With that said, I really liked my top layer to be clean with nothing on it, and I like to stamp it with my Stampin' Write markers on my stamps, to color on my stamps. So I didn't use the top piece, which is okay. You can use the top piece. So I used my 5.25 by 4 inch piece and my 4 inch by 2 3/4 Whisper Whites. I layered them right on top of each other, centered it. And now all you're going to do is you're actually going to stamp both of those pieces at the exact same time. So let's go ahead and open up our stamp pad. This is one of the new stamp pads too. Oh, I love them. All right, so we're going to ink it up really good. Now this is just a little nugget here, the piece of nugget that you're going to want to know. This little stem right here, you need to stamp it so that it's stamped towards the center of the card. It's going to be hidden underneath your this third layer right here. So you're not going to see the stem. As I was doing this, I didn't like the stem. It just didn't look like it matched. So I'm going to go ahead and just start stamping. It's very random. And you're going to want to ink it up each time for sure. So just go ahead and start stamping, kind of turn your paper, do the best you can to kind of keep that top layer into place, although it does move a little bit. You might want to just kind of turn your hand, turn the block, so that you get all good layers here. And again, the key is you want to ink it up every single time, ladies. Now, if you want to go different shades, which I haven't tried that yet, that'd be pretty cool. If you stamped on and then continued to stamp so you get the different shades, that would be pretty cool. All right, so here we go. I'm going to go ahead and just set that down. There we go. So now you can see here that basically I stamped these 2 sheets at the exact same time. And that's what I got. All right, so I see a piece here that I am not liking, so I am just gonna, there is no mistakes in stamping. We'll just add another flower on top of it. Oh yeah, now I love it. That's perfect. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and build this card. You're gonna take your 5.5 by 8.5 sheet of black cardstock, I like to use Stampin' Up! Tombow glue. It's a permanent glue. It's acid free. It's great for scrapbooking as well as card making. I really like using this glue. Kind of takes me back to preschool, honestly. You got to be careful because once you stick your paper, or it's stuck, man. It's not going anywhere. But I find that I do a lot of cards and I can just move along a lot faster if I use Tombow. So there you see I just glued, I used the Tombow and glued the top layer. Now I'm going to glue my next layer on top of my basic black 4 1/4 by 3 inch piece of cardstock. I just centered it, that's all I'm doing, just centered it on there. Let's go ahead and put a little bit of glue here on the back of that piece. Now typically I'd probably use Stampin' Up! Dimensionals because I do like the dimension, I like the layered look. But for the purposes of the video today, I'm going to go ahead and just, let me just see here, make sure I've got this right. I'm going to go ahead and just glue that down. So now all I'm doing is I just layered this. You'll see that the flowers they match, they all kind of come together, and this black piece is forgiving. It kind of masks the fact that you stamped it all at the same time. Alright, so let's move on to something else that's kind of fun. We're going to color on our stamp. And I used my Stampin' Right markers. You're going to want to use Gumball Green, since I used Gumball Green. Although, did you just see what I just did? I just popped this off. It's really funny on your Stampin' Right markers, not to get off on a tangent, but you'll see that there is a thick line and a thin line. And that basically shows you that this is going to be the thin tip of your marker, and that's going to be the thick end of your marker. And every single time I pick these things up, I know that little news nugget, and I never get it right. But anyway, so you're going to use the side of your marker. We're going to color on the Warm Wishes, which I think is really cool. We're going to color that. Now this is Wild Wasabi, and if you don't have Gumball Green marker, don't worry about that. Look for another green in the same color family or in the hue of that green. I started with Old Olive, didn't really like it, so then I just grabbed Wild Wasabi. And heck, nobody will know the difference. Trust me on that one. And you never know. You might find a color combination that looks fabulous. Alright, so I just colored basic black on the bottom. And then I used my Wild Wasabi on the top. I'm just going to stamp straight down, straight up. Hope for a, oh, I got it straight. Love that. There you go. So we've got Warmest Wishes on your birthday. I'm going to take and save all your scraps, folks. All your scraps. So I've got my Itty Bitty Flowers punch. Just going to go ahead and punch me out a little bitty flower. We're going to put a little dab of glue on that. That's going to go right next to my little birthday wishes, just like that. Then we're going to go ahead and glue this piece, layer it onto our 3 by 1 3/4 inch. There we go. There's a little upside down there. The 3 and 1 3/4 inch basic black. Layer it right on top of there. Let's add a little glue to this. And again, in crafting, there are either no mistakes or there's always a way to improvise. Do you see that? That was from my last mistake. So we just flipped it over and used the other side. That is like good stuff right there. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and just layer that right there in the center. So you see our card is coming together. Love that. It's pretty quick. It's pretty easy. Now I'm going to reach here for my scissors. Now the trick to our jewels, folks, behind each of the Stampin' Up! Rhinestone jewels, there is a little mini glue dot, and it's so hard sometimes to get those. It is fabulous the glue dot is there, but a lot of ladies miss that. So get your scissors in there, dig underneath it, and take it and place it right on your card exactly where you want it. And there you have it. How cool is that? That is triple step stamping. Now, of course, like I said earlier, you can do it in all kinds of shades and colors. We've got the tempting turquoise, which we started with. You can do it in your black tone, just black and white. You can just do it black and white. How about red? You can do it in red. Another color that is fabulous is your Elegant Eggplant or your Concord Crush. It looks awesome, awesome, awesome. So there you have it. That is triple step stamping. So I hope you enjoyed our tutorial today. I hope you try it, and I hope you had a lot of fun. So thanks again, and happy stamping!